Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for Studio 512. Are you kind of wanting to go beyond your regular spots for some fun food finds this month? Food journalist Ali Khan of Ali Khan Eats is here to introduce and occasionally reintroduce us to what Austin has to offer in this month's Best Bites. We always love to see them. Ali, good morning.
Hey.
The first one we're talking about today is going to be really interesting. I want people to get plugged in because it's going to come right back up in our very next segment. It's the Carillon.
Okay, so get ready. Rosie, I'm going to take you back to 1985 when an 8-year-old pudgy Ali Khan was allowed to go to these fine dining restaurants, and he was introduced to American continental cuisine, which really emphasized on the decadent sauces and traditions of Western Europe, okay? So I went to the Carillon for a Mother's Day brunch, and some of the highlights were like this crab asparagus soup, a really perfect hollandaise, and I was like, oh my God, it's 1985 again. I'm having these great old school kind of Americana fine dining stuff that you just don't see very often anymore. So I was like, Carillon, very cool, good look. So now they do a 3-course tasting menu, $55.
$55.
I know. Now, and for $55, we're talking a Wagyu beef carpaccio, a strip steak with a bordelaise sauce, which again takes me back to 1985. Pudgy me, you know what I mean?
But happy you.
But I'm very happy, very, very happy. So I just love kind of discovering that this little glimpse back into time of fine dining in America is still going strong.
Yeah, and it's on UT's campus, connected with the university, but you don't have to have any connection to the university to actually make an appointment, a reservation.
I literally went, I didn't even wear any burnt orange. How about that?
They let you in the door anyway.
I know they did.
Okay, let's talk about Paperboy.
Yes, okay, so if someone to say, Ali, where is your spot for brunch? It's definitely Paperboy. And one of the reasons is they do a great brunch 7 days a week. Now they're in East Austin, but I'm bringing it up because they just opened a second location in South Austin. My go-to dish there is a Texas hash, roasted pork, sweet potatoes, poached egg, hearty greens. Last time I had it, they had a salsa matcha. Now my big hope is that there's always a line, especially on the weekends. With this second location, I hope I have less of a wait when I go to Paperboy. But it's a go-to spot. Highly recommend Paperboy.
Salsa matcha, I've never even thought about doing those two words in the same sentence, but it sounds like it's really good.
Salsa and breakfast, that's kind of me. I mean, that's an Austin thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Loudmouth.
Yes, so I've been on a mission to kind of cover all these great new pizza joints that have been opening up lately. Loudmouth has been open for a minute. It's the same team as Paperboy.
That pizza looks good.
I know, right? So new craving for me, Caesar dressing. So I love it. I almost think it's great as a dipping sauce. So we went there, we had a margarita, we did a Caesar salad, we did the meatballs with this classic red sauce. Really love their focaccia bread. Focaccia usually has a lot of olive oil in it. This stuff was like really heavy on the olive oil. It has this golden color. That and the red sauce. I had it last night. I'm still there.
Still thinking about it.
Yep.
It sounds really delicious. How about Birdies?
Yes, Birdies. So big shout out. The James Beard Awards were just on Monday. I've talked about Birdies before. Austin won. Arjav Ezekiel won a James Beard Award for Outstanding Beverage Professional.
Hey.
When you go to Birdies, certainly you want to consider, they have a great beverage program, duh, but their wines, look, wine ain't cheap by the glass anymore. $20 glass.
Or by the bottle, quite
exactly.
frankly.
But at Birdies, it is worth it. He does an exceptional job with that wine list, too. Okay. And good value, too.
I really like the name of this next restaurant, Distant Relatives.
Distant Relatives. So today's Juneteenth. So in honor of Juneteenth, I wanted to mention Distant Relatives. Chef Damien Brockway is African American. When he started Distant Relatives, it actually refers to him researching his own past, his ancestors who came from West Africa. So we all know barbecue's big, but we also have to recognize that barbecue and African American experience are tied hand in hand.
100.
And what he does is he actually brings in spices from the areas of West Africa where his parents are from, his relatives are from, and it incorporates some of the influence of the side dishes on the menu. So really cool stuff there.
That is really cool stuff. Okay, you and I have both said we're a little bit uncomfortable about saying this name out loud, but it is the name that this lovely gentleman chose for his burger truck, and he's had a couple different concepts. It's Jew Boy Burger.
Yes, Jew Boy Burgers. So we'll just get this out of the way. Morris Piddle, the founder of Jew Boy Burgers, is Jewish. The name happens to refer to where he was brought up in El Paso. It's actually a mix of Chicano culture where people would call you homeboy, and they would call Mo, hey, what's up, Jew boy? And it is a term of endearment. Again, Mo is Jewish. So I was thinking about this spot because I was at Austin Monthly's Burger Bash, right? I go and see Mo. He's a larger-than-life, gregarious character. He's like Tony Soprano, but nice. You know what I mean?
He is. We've had him on the show. He's delightful.
Totally, right? So I go up and see him, and he's like, just so you know, I'm sold out. And that's why I wanted to bring up Jew Boy Burgers. They are a locally beloved joint. It's always packed. This month he's doing a special. So if you ever had a Jew Boy Burger, he's a generous man in terms of his toppings. You know what I mean? He likes them a little over the top. He's doing a Cubano. So if you've ever been to Miami, Cuban sandwich, right? Panini press, roasted pork, ham, mustard, pickle, Swiss cheese pressed in there.
Sounds so good.
In Mo's style, he slips in a 5-ounce burger.
Whoa.
Let's get one this month, Rosie.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to be full afterwards, Allie.
It's
okay.
true.
I want you to stick around, my friend. We're not going to let you go yet because
gotta stay.
trivia is coming up next. Okay, guys, so tune in next month to learn about Allie's picks and keep up with his blog for all his latest bites, AllieConEats.com. So we are going to hold on to Allie for a round of trivia with the chef from the Carillon right after the break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back, everybody. The Carillon was one of Ali Khan's picks for this month's Best Bites, and today we have a super special treat as executive chef Jason Cunningham is joining us for a trivia showdown all about food. A chef versus a food consumer. We're very interested to see how this goes. Our friend Carrie Anderson from Austin City Trivia sent some questions into us. These gentlemen have not seen them before. They have no idea what's coming their way. I'm excited to see what happens. So, guys, for the both of you, first of all, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Feels like deja vu.
It feels like deja vu to have you still here, Allie, but we're happy to have you. I will say it's multiple choice. No need to super rush. Just don't cheat off each other. As long as you both get the answer right, you can both get the point. I do have a tiebreaker if it needs to come up at the end. Okay, so here's our very first question. Pins ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Which of the following fruits is not in season over the summer? Not in season. Mango, watermelon, clementine, or blackberry? Mango, watermelon,
He's gonna win.
clementine, or blackberry? All right, show whenever you're ready. Clementine, both correct.
Really?
Well done. I know that you guys have a watermelon salad or something like that going on right now, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and we got a fresh greens mix from House Bar, a local farm here in Austin. Terrific mix of flowers and herbs and greens. And we do a compressed watermelon actually with that and some smoked ricotta salata.
So you can get like a lot of flavor in that watermelon.
Oh, it's really concentrated.
Okay, all right. I'm telling you
Really
that
good.
3 dishes for $55 is sounding better and better. Okay,
Same.
I would have gotten watermelon. I would not have gotten clementine. So points to the both of you.
Okay.
Second question is, what is the official state tree of Texas? It's not a multiple choice. It's not a multiple choice. Official state tree of Texas, but I will say, think along the lines of consumables.
I mean, who wants to eat a tree?
San Saba is I actually just know this off the top of my head, the capital of this in the entire United States. Okay, Oak, what do you say? Chef's got it. Pecan.
I was thinking about barbecue. You know, you smoke with oak. God.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad choice.
That was my
especially because
first
we have a
go-to
lot
as
of
well.
oak trees around, right? Live oak. Everybody,
know.
Yeah. But yeah, pecan, and it's crazy that Central Texas is so good at it. All right, we're gonna talk ingredients next.
Okay.
A bordelaise sauce is made with stock, shallots, bone marrow, and another main ingredient. What is that other main ingredient? Stock, shallots, bone marrow, and what? Allie's got his answer up. Wine from Bordeaux and red wine. I will take both answers.
Really?
Both correct.
Slipped
Both
in there.
correct.
I meant to say red.
Named for, this was actually going to be your tiebreaker, but you've given it
Really?
away now, Chef. It's Bordelaise sauce is named for the Bordeaux region of France. So something for every, yeah, you're like, I know. Good job, y'all, doing well. All right,
Okay.
I think Chef's got 3. 2 to Allie, so we're doing okay. Next question coming up. Cookware made from which material heats up fastest and most evenly? Stainless steel, ceramic, cast iron, or copper? Fastest heat up and most evenly. Copper, correct. It's like these two guys know stuff about food or something. Chef, do you use copper cookware?
We actually have some that's really more for show.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it is beautiful.
We have an exhibition kitchen in the Carillon, and so we have some things that the diners can see while they're experiencing our food. But copper's really hard to take care of. It's great to cook with, the best, but really hard to keep fresh or keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
You know, I feel kind of the same way about a cast iron skillet. It's like, then you have to re-season it and the whole thing.
I've got some thoughts on that.
Okay, all
I've got
right.
some big thoughts on that one. So I got a cast iron. I did not grow up with one. I didn't have a grandma who had it. I discovered it when I was like in my 20s. And I had one for like literally 20 years, and it was all caked on and stuff. And I remember I was told like, "Don't wash it."
Right,
Scrubbing
exactly.
It. Yeah.
It has to keep getting seasoned.
Yeah. And the thing is, they do have a bit of pre-seasoning on them, you know, and they're very durable. So I actually found someone on the internet who restores them, like puts it in the whole like lye bath and stuff. So she stripped it down. It's totally shiny. She gave me a whole instruction thing. This is how I take care of mine now that it's been kind of restored to kind of the factory condition. I use it. As soon as I'm done, I wash it. I use water. I use soap, and then you dry it immediately, thoroughly, and then I put it on the burner for 3 minutes on low. It's been fine I got it restored in 2024, and it's been fine ever since.
Woo!
Well, surprise. Yeah, there's so many things. Like, I remember I did the whole salt thing with oil. I'm burning myself.
That's dangerous and messy.
And a
My
waste
boss
of
is
salt.
saying in my ear, I do the same thing too. He wants to be in y'all's club. All right. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is actually our final question. So I need you, Allie, to maybe like not think so much about the Carillon part, because that will help you get to the answer. In what specific part of the Carillon menu would you find items made with Ritual brand ingredients? Ritual brand ingredients.
Wait.
So you just need to think about, what does Ritual brand offer? Chef knows. Take a guess.
I mean, here.
If I were to say liquids, does that help you at all? He had written 3 question marks down.
How did you see that? I don't know. This is crazy.
Okay. What does that say?
Bar menu?
Bar menu?
Yeah.
Cocktails? Okay.
Cocktails.
Do you know what? I'm going to give it to you both, but it's actually mocktails. Ritual brand ingredients, I think, are the mocktail side, the non-alcoholic spirits. I know that's probably not your forte, Chef. You're back doing the food instead.
And
but you could
it's
do
not my forte, I'll tell you that much.
old-fashioned hook'em, McComb's Mojito, Bevo's Boulevardier, lots of really fun cocktails or zero-proof mixed drinks, which is becoming my forte. And some things they're getting really good at. I would still say the wine has a ways to go.
Yeah.
0% beer's coming a long way.
Love it.
Mocktails I'm loving, but yeah, the wine's got a little while to go. All right, okay, you guys did really well. I hate to tell you this, Allie, but I think you lost by 1.
Are you serious?
Yes, I think you just got 1 wrong. Chef got every single one of them correct. It was that oak that got you in the end. So
I know.
you did well, but Chef, well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosie.
Of
Appreciate
course. All right, and now that we have just a little bit of time to talk, can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on at the Carillon this summer?
Well, we refresh our menus seasonally. Chef Kyle is our chef de cuisine for the Carillon, and he does an amazing job of incorporating pieces of Texas into the menu design. But I gotta say, the best thing about our offerings is our 3 for $55.
Yeah.
First course, entree, dessert, and you'd be hard pressed to find a better deal in this market. So
I'm gonna say yes to that.
Yeah.
really a great deal.
Yeah, wonderful.
come see us.
And such seasonal things. I really want to try that compressed watermelon. Sounds good. Okay, thank you both so much for your time, and congratulations, Chef.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Allie's like, nah, it's okay.
I had a good showing. I didn't get embarrassed.
You did have a good showing. Okay, guys, you can make a reservation to dine in. Right now, you can make that reservation today at thecarillonrestaurant.com. Stay with us. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored on behalf of See Monterey by Tips on TV. A great road trip begins with exploring iconic destinations, but the real adventure comes from getting off the beaten path and discovering hidden gems along the way. Joining us today are Kirk Gaffil of Nepenthe and the Big Sur Chamber of Commerce, and Mandy Lindquist with the California Rodeo Salinas. They're here with some pro tips on how to have an iconic Highway 1 road trip in Monterey County on California's Central Coast this summer. Oh, it sounds like a dream. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Lovely to have you both here. First question right off the top. What can travelers expect from a bucket list road trip to California on Highway 1 through Big Sur? I've never done it myself. I'm really interested to hear.
Well, we love Austin, and we're looking forward to you coming out. The experience of coming to Big Sur is one that's very convenient. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from the San Francisco Bay Area. If you're flying into Los Angeles or driving out, you can drive up about 5 hours to Big Sur from LA, come through the beautiful Salinas Valley and all that splendor of the agricultural area there. And then you come down the Monterey Peninsula and along the Big Sur coast, so the mountains meeting the ocean. So you have the redwood forest, beautiful rivers, beaches, very scenic, dramatic, and largely untouched landscape for hundreds of years.
Oh, I could let my hair fly free on that, on that highway. I tell you what, the imagery looks absolutely gorgeous. And Kirk, I want to ask why now is the time to plan a Highway 1 road trip through the Central Coast?
This is a great time to visit Big Sur. The daylight hours are longer, the temperatures are warmer. You get a cool morning, but then beautiful sunshiny days in the afternoon into the evenings. And you have the spring flowers coming out of this winter that we had. And you also have smaller crowds right now. So it's a great time to come down, see the landscape, stay here for a couple of days, whether you drive through or you camp out along the Big Sur River, you stay in one of the hotels, or come to Nepenthe Restaurant, where we've been here now for 4 generations. And it's a really remarkable array of galleries, shops, museums, and experiences in a natural and very rugged setting.
Wow, that sounds absolutely lovely. Okay, Mandy, what are some fun things to do? You're the fun queen on a Monterey County road trip.
That's right. Well, shout out to my friends at Rodeo Austin. You can enjoy that in March, but then come out to the California Rodeo in July. And we do say rodeo, unlike Texas, because it's a nod to our Spanish heritage and the word rodear, which means to round up. So we welcome you to come out in July, experience the beautiful summer weather. Make sure you do go through the Salinas Valley for some authentic Mexican food, hiking at the Pinnacles National Park. You get to see up close where your food is grown, your produce. We are the produce capital of the world. So you'll see beautiful fields, beautiful vineyards. We have delicious wines. So you can come out and experience all of that, plus golfing, biking, delicious food, and history as well, with the history in Monterey and throughout the valley.
Kirk, what makes Highway 1 and Big Sur a special road trip destination?
I think what makes Big Sur so special is that you have this combination of this amazing landscape, dramatic, rugged, mountains meeting the ocean, and you have a community here that really cares about the sustainability, the environment, welcoming our guests who can have so many different types of experiences. And it's so convenient to get here from major destinations. And once they're here, they can stay and they can come to a restaurant like ours at Nepenthe, or they can stay at Post Ranch Inn, which has an exceptional restaurant, Sierra Mar. And we're really lucky today to have Chef Raylon here. And Chef, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Rick. As Kirk mentioned, we are the produce capital of the world, but what a lot of people don't know is there's a lot of great foraging out here as well, foraging for produce and mushrooms. We also value the ethos of sustainability and regenerative agriculture. At Sierra Mar, we are perched about 1,200 feet above the Pacific Ocean with really, really iconic views of the California coastline. One of the dishes that we actually have to highlight for you today is Monterey abalone and seaweed with a fricassee of summer vegetables. Just one of the many dishes that we have on our lunch and dinner menus at Sierra Mar. So we invite you to come stay with us and dine with us.
Oh, wow, that looks absolutely incredible, Chef. Thank you so much for sharing. And the produce capital of the world. I didn't even know. Okay, Mandy, last question coming to you. Any insider tips for travelers?
I think that your visit to Monterey County can be anything that you want to make it: a romantic getaway, a trip with your girlfriends, a lot of family friendly activities. We do things on the weekends with our kids, bike riding down the coastline, stopping for snacks at each restaurant. We camp in Big Sur every year, and the kids are going to have wonderful memories of that. They also love the tide pool, so you can find affordable things to do at the beaches and lots of entertainment for everyone. You can visit cmonterey.com/highway1 for more information and planning your trip.
Well, sounds like a ton of fun. You guys have certainly got me planning a trip. We really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored on behalf of C Monterey by Tips on TV. Welcome back, everybody. You've heard this old adage before. Those were the good old days. But what if we flip the script to appreciate what's happening here and now? That's the premise behind children's author Russell Daniels' newest book, These Are the Good Old Days. We're excited to talk about it with him. Russell, good morning.
Good morning.
I know that this is going to get a little bit on the heavy side before we get to the lighter stuff, but I think it's so important to talk about mental health. Talk to me about your inspiration for this book, because it comes from your own experiences, and why you wanted to write it.
Yes, thank you. So the story is inspired by my late brother, Danny, who lost his battle with mental health in August of 2020. And so this book is an expression of, yes, those were the good old days with Danny, but also these are the good old days, and they continue to be because of all the love and the family members that we still have in our life. But this book is an honor and a tribute to Danny's life, and sharing the perspective that these are the good old days. They were before, they will continue to be, because that's kind of the approach and the mentality behind it.
I think if you look the word nostalgia up in the dictionary, it actually indicates some form of melancholy, like some form of sadness for what was. So the fact that we're talking instead about like what is, and like let's appreciate that, I think is so huge. What can readers expect when they open this book? You know, what's it about?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of the subtitle of the book is A Story for Children and Families About Appreciating the Moment While You're Still in It. So not looking back to some time in the past that those were, but we are in them right now. And the repeated phrase through the book that I think kind of centers the story is, these are the good old days when we're all still around and you're right here safe and sound. I know that these are the good old days, is what Grandpa Dan, which is also based on my real life grandfather, who's 94 years old.
Wow, way to go, Grandpa.
Yep. And I was able to give him my book, These Are the Good Old Days, on his 94th birthday, which we have a picture in here somewhere that I can speak to.
Oh my goodness, that is so sweet.
Yep, so it's a really meaningful present that I was able to give him.
Wow, that is really wonderful. I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that it is a children's book, and why you chose it to be a children's book, and what you're hearing from your friends who have kids, because it's doing a little reminding for them as well.
Absolutely. So making it a children's book, which we have a picture here that I've done readings at various elementary schools here in Austin and a few in San Antonio, and just being able to share a message with someone who is first starting to make sense of the world, and that they can go home at the end of that day after hearing my reading, and they look around the dinner table and say, these are the good old days. I would love for that to happen. And so that's part of the reason for doing for a children's book and having the illustrations come to life to support it.
It really gives me chills, and you've got some fantastic illustrations as well. Can you talk to me a little bit
Yes.
about Sandra McDougall?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Sandra is a Austin-based illustrator who I met through kind of the art community on the east side in Austin, and reached out to her, and over the past 6 to 9 months we worked together to bring to life what we see here on the screen.
It's gorgeous.
That picture of Grand Padan, well, every picture is based on the actual people. Somewhere on the photo on the right, you'll see what looks like me and my parents, and Grandma Sally is the lady in the pink on the left right there. So yeah, everyone, based on real people. And then here we have a picture of Danny when he was younger, and then Grand Padan. And Grand Padan is a retired dentist. He worked at the Bexar County Jail for many, many years, leading their dental program. So these are just a few images of Danny's life and the life that we got to share with him.
Do you know, I can see how fulfilling it is, how wonderful your family and close-knit it is. And I think that really reflects not only in the illustrations of the book, but some of the pictures
Thank you.
that you've brought to us today. Okay, this actually is your first book.
Yes, it is.
But we are hoping it is not your last.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the second one you're working on.
Yep. So on the final page, and this is the picture of when I gave the book to Grand Padan.
Look at how proud he is.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. So the sorry, what?
The second book that you're
That's
working
right. Yes. So on the final page of this book, the closing page says, "I'm glad you're here," and so that's kind of a teaser for the title of my second book, which will be out probably sometime next year, and just a message of telling someone a simple phrase of "I'm glad you're here" can be deeply meaningful to feel that if you really get that feeling of, I'm glad you're here, that you've gone through everything you've gone through, and that we're here together.
And not only that, but for people who are struggling with mental health, maybe to just hear that you're being recognized, that your presence is honored. I think it's really important. Such important information today, and a really adorable book. Thank you so much, Russell, for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, get Russell's book online now. alwaysthegoodoldays.com. This segment is sponsored by Affordable Debt Consolidation. NBC News reports that Americans are falling behind on credit card debt, unfortunately, and inflation continues to have a big impact on budgets. In fact, a survey from NerdWallet found that over 1/3 of people feel like they're going to be in credit card debt forever. So if you or someone you know is struggling with $20,000 to $100,000 or more in credit card debt and personal loans, Tim Wilkins with Affordable Debt Consolidation is here to help, and it's always good to see you, Tim.
Always good to see you.
Let's talk about the new year. It's 2024. This is when people start making resolutions.
They do, and debt and diet are the two big ones. They get through Christmas, everybody's getting their gift, and I'm having all the cookies I want. I'll deal with it on January 1st. And then those credit card bills start to come in. They look at their balances and they think, this is just unsustainable. The rates keep going up, which makes it more unsustainable. It's a perfect storm for so many people. And that burden of stress, if you're thinking about how do I detox my life and de-stress my life, getting rid of that debt, a lot of people are already getting calls and the different colored letters from their creditors. It's important to get out in front of this. And it's even more important, the younger you are, you want to get money invested. And you go, oh, it's only a 10% return. If you're paying 30% in interest, you're losing 40%. Yeah. Somewhere in there, you're not looking after your future because that money's going down a rabbit hole into the abyss of high interest debt.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are some options out there. And this is options for people who may only have a little debt, but maybe they haven't fallen behind yet, but they're on the verge. You want to talk to those people.
I really do, because the sooner you come to get help, the more options you have available to you. Like a debt consolidation loan, where in that instance you use our platform of lenders to find the best rate for you, the one you qualify for. You find a lower interest rate, put all your debt in there, and you lock in against future interest rate hikes, which is also a huge help because we've seen about 4 or 5 of them in the previous year. So that can be a relief. The next one is a credit counseling program that can do a lot of the same things but without a new loan. And then the next one for people who are really struggling, they look at this and say, okay, this is not only unsustainable, but I've got about 18 days if I don't make a phone call, the nasty letters and phone calls are going to start. that Texas Debt Relief Program that actually negotiates your principal balance, negotiates significant reductions in what you owe, which can be a huge relief for people who are really struggling. Their monthly payment their program payment can be less than half compared to just minimums, and they can often get out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months.
That's pretty impressive. You brought some visual aid to show people today.
I love my graphs.
I mean, I have to say they're pretty impressive.
They really are. For people who are struggling, you lay those bills out every month to pay them, and you think, can we keep up with $2,000 in minimum payments? That's with $50,000 in credit card. That's our average right now. That debt consolidation loan could have you under $1,000 a month. Credit counseling could have you under $1,100. Both a huge relief for people putting out $2,000 and not paying down their debt. The Texas Debt Relief Program you see, I talk about it being, that program payment being less than half compared to just minimums. That is a huge relief. Now, you want to talk about how much you'll pay off over time with that?
This is scary.
This is really scary. You want to talk about throwing interest away. You're not spending any more money. This is just the interest payments on what you owe. Over double that $50,000 over time.
Wow.
Debt consolidation and credit counseling, you see a nice relief there, just under $67,000 and under $64,000. That Texas Debt Relief Program could be less than what you owe today over time.
I think that's a mind-blowing concept.
It really is. Now, you want to talk about how long it could take to get out of that debt, just making minimums, again, not charging anything else, 20 plus years.
Wow.
You're looking at your payment, you're making a payment every month, and if it doesn't feel like it's going down, it's because it really isn't. Debt consolidation and credit counseling, 6 years and 5 years, again, a huge relief. But if you want to think about, I want to invest in my future or be able to save for a rainy day, 24 to 48 months could have you on the path to financial freedom. And if that's a resolution, you want the shortest path, that could be it for you if you qualify.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's also hard to stay the course for 20 years and not put a single other thing on that credit card. My goodness.
Well, that one might be maxed out, like a lot of people are at the top of their limits. At that point, you can't get extra credit cards, and you're running out of resources to even pay your bills, which is why a lot of people are in this situation.
Absolutely.
They've been putting their living on a high-rated credit card, and it's just really starting to add up.
And there are millions of people who are dealing with this problem, so you are not alone. But if somebody is looking for help, maybe on the internet, or they're following ads that they're getting on Instagram, they need to be really wary.
You need to be wary. Those might not be even actual companies. They could just be marketing companies gathering your information, selling it to the highest bidder. Oftentimes, they're not licensed in Texas. We're very happy that not only are we licensed, we've been helping specifically Texans as a Texas-based company for over 20 years, over 2 decades, and we're very well reviewed on our website. And I'm really happy that we're 100% veteran-owned as a former Marine myself. Former, but we always say we're Marines. I never know how that comes. It's very important, the work that we've done and the people that we help. So reach out to someone you know, someone you can relate to.
Absolutely. So the biggest thing is that you just don't want people to wait any longer. Let's talk about how to get the conversation started.
Well, talk to one of our Texas debt specialists. Gather your bills up, call, and find out what your options are. Find out what's available to you, and think about your goals, and they'll help you walk through that process. But do it sooner rather than later because there's more options available to you.
We appreciate your time, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you are struggling with $20,000 to $100,000 or more of credit card debt or personal loans, get a free, no obligation phone or office consultation with a Texas debt specialist and ask about their $1,000 lowest fee guarantee. Call 800-816-1003 now or visit affordabledebtconsolidation.com/KXAN. This segment is sponsored by Affordable Debt Consolidation. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by The Roof Resource. Simplicity, transparency, selection, and savings set The Roof Resource apart from traditional roof offerings, and the company has just launched right here in Central Texas. Owner and operator Mike Staples is here to tell us more, and I'm going to start by bragging on him because he has served our country. We're thankful to you, Mike. West Point grad, served in the Army as a Black Hawk pilot. Then you spent the last decade in fast growth tech startups. So what on earth led you to being the franchise owner of The Roof Resource here in Texas?
Yeah, Rosie, last summer we got our roof hit by a big hailstorm, just like what you're seeing around town today. We needed to get our roof replaced, so we reached out to our insurance. Luckily, we had insurance to help us out. However, the whole process of finding out who's going to do your roof is really frustrating. If you're not a home construction professional, you probably don't understand what goes into actually installing a good roof, and you don't understand what goes into the proper roofing materials to secure your home. So I quit my day job, I bought into the Roof Resource franchise, and we just launched to Texas about 3 months ago or so. Our goal is to serve Texans with a high quality alternative to traditional roofing companies that are 30 to 50% less than retail thanks to our cost pricing and our flat fee.
How is the Roof Resource different from traditional roofing companies?
Sure, we do it through 4 main things. It's simplicity, transparency, choice, and cost. It could not be simpler to get a quote from us. You can call, text, email me, go to our website. There's a ton of great, it's very easy to get a hold of us. Our homeowners get the selection of any name brand shingle that they possibly want, and they get a full system. We only monetize through our flat fee, and it's based off of the size of your roof. So if you have a bigger roof, it's a slightly bigger fee, a smaller roof, slightly smaller fee. All the other costs that go into that roofing project, the cost of labor, materials, dumpster, we give those to the homeowner at true cost, meaning we're not upcharging them or anything.
As we all know, Austin was recently hit by intense storms. It's been kind of a big storm season this spring, and a lot of homeowners may be concerned with their roofs being intact. So how long do they have to wait before you can install a roof, and do you work with insurance companies in order to get that going?
Absolutely. So weather dependent, we can install within 7 to 10 days. So very, very quickly we can get your roof replaced. You don't go on a long wait list, 7 to 10 days, we got you knocked out. In terms of insurance companies, we work with all of them. And actually, I'm working with a couple right now up in Georgetown. We're getting them a full Class 4 system, which is the highest impact resistant shingle you can get.
Mike, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rosie.
Homeowners looking for a high-quality, transparent, cost-saving roofing solution can learn more right now by going to the website on your screen or by calling 512-590-9281. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by the Roof Resource.
Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs where you can search thousands of new postings every single day. Check it out right now and get started on the path to your next career.
Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by C. Monterey by Tips on TV, Affordable Debt Consolidation, The Roof Resource, and ZipRecruiter.